Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. The battle for 2024 is now squarely in the Hindi heartland. And today we'll focus on two of the big states of the Hindi heartland. Is UP, the BJP's gateway to Delhi, on a day that the Prime Minister tells India today the Congress will end with 0 seats. Can UP ke ladke, Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav really make an impact? Also, my travels to Bihar, where I will be catching up with Tejasvi Yadav, the one-man army of the opposition, and Chirag Paswan, who's emerging as the star campaigner of the NDA in Bihar. All that and more coming up on a power-packed show. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Prime Minister Narendra Modi files his nomination from Varanasi, seeking a third consecutive term. BJP ministers and NDA allies hold a show of strength. Speaking to India today, the Prime Minister reiterates his 400 par for NDA war cry, insists Congress won't even get 40 seats. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra mocks, asks if the Prime Minister is now an astrologer who can predict results. Mumbai billboard clash mounts to 14 injured, 75 others. BJP versus Congress blame game erupts. Owner of the firm that put up the hoarding is on the run. JDS Neta H.D. Revanna released from prison in the Karnataka sex abuse. Rao says he will come out clean, but his son and rape accused Prajwal Revanna still remains in Germany. Aam Aadmi Party confirms its MP and former women panel chief Swati Maliwal was assaulted at Kejriwal's residence. Sanjay Singh says the chief minister has taken cognizance, will take action against his personal assistant. Liquor gate probe intensifies. ED tells High Court it will make AAP an accused in the next charge sheet. This would make it the first national party to be named as an accused. Bhima Koregaon violence accused Gautam Lakha finally gets bail after the Supreme Court refuses to extend stay on his bail by the Bombay High Court, says trial won't conclude soon. Big breakthrough in the 34,000 crore DHFL bank fraud probe. Former director Dheeraj Wadhawan arrested by the CBI in the case. And a violent uprising breaks out in POK against rising inflation. Clashes erupt between police and protesters. 3 killed so far, over 100 injured in the clashes. But tonight, our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination from Varanasi today. Mr. Modi was accompanied by the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and several other chief ministers of the NDA and BJP. Also present were the 4 people who had proposed his name earlier: Pandit Ganeshwar Shastri, Baidyanath Patel, Lalchand Kushwaha and Sanjay Sonkar, representing Brahmin, OBC and Dalit communities. The Prime Minister declared assets worth 3 crore rupees in an election affidavit. Later, in an exclusive interview to India Today by the banks of the Ganga, the Prime Minister asserted that the BJP is still aiming for 400 par, and then went on to claim that the Congress will not win a single seat in UP, including Rai Bareli, where Rahul Gandhi is contesting from. The Prime Minister's remarks drew a sharp response from Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Listen in to what the Prime Minister said and how Priyanka Gandhi Vadra then responded.
यूपी की 2014 में 71 सीटें हमने देखी थी, आपने जीती थी 2014 में 62 सीटें 2019 में जीती थी। अब 2024 के लिए क्या है लक्ष्य उत्तर प्रदेश को लेकर आपका?
हम 400 पार के लक्ष्य को लेकर के चल रहे हैं और ये 400 पार ये देश ने कहा है हमको करने के लिए, और देश इस मेरे भावना को और देश के आदेश को एक बराबर से ट्यूनिंग है जी। उत्तर प्रदेश तो खैर हमें भरपूर आशीर्वाद देगा ही देगा, हाँ। कोई कमी नहीं रहने देगा। कांग्रेस का खाता भी नहीं खुलेगा।
यहाँ पे खाता भी नहीं खुलेगा
कांग्रेस का खाता भी नहीं खुलेगा।
रायबरेली से तो राहुल गांधी मैदान में है।
वो मीडिया के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण परिवार है और मीडिया के लोग उस परिवार को बहुत संभाल भी रहे हैं और शायद उनकी कुछ मजबूरियां रही होगी पिछले 7-8 साल में, तो वो संभाले, मुझे उसके लिए कुछ कहना नहीं है। मैं तो जमीन का आदमी हूँ, गरीब माँ का बेटा हूँ।
और ये भी कह रहे हैं आप 40 सीटों के आसपास रहेगी कांग्रेस, तो क्या दक्षिण भारत से उसका सुपड़ा साफ होने जा रहा है? मतलब राजनीतिक
मैं साफ मानता हूँ कि वो वायनाड क्यों छोड़ना पड़ा उनको, क्यों भागना पड़ा, वो पराजय देख चुके हैं। और वायनाड से भागने के बाद रायबरेली आने के निर्णय के पहले उन्होंने अपनी भाषा, टोन बहुत ही तीखा कर दिया है और अनाप शनाप चीजें बोल रहे हैं। तो केरल ने उनको बहुत सबक सिखा दिया है, केरल शायद उनको पहचान गया है। उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों ने हमेशा, चलो भाई बड़े उदार चरित लोग हैं यहाँ के, तो उन्होंने चलाया। अब वो कहते तुम हमें दगा दे करके भाग गए थे, चलो भाई अमेठी से हार गए, एक बार भी आए थे क्या? मान ली हार गए, एक बार भी आए थे क्या?
यहाँ सपा के साथ हैं वो।
ऐसा है, किसके साथ है? वो पहले भी सपा, बसपा, कांग्रेस तीनों निकल चुके थे। ये दो नौजवान भी पहले रील उतारते थे ट्रक पे चढ़ करके, काली बंडी पर जैकेट पहन करके। लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता इन दोनों को पहचान गई है और उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता ये परिवारवाद को स्वीकार नहीं कर सकती है। उसने देखा है कि और एक अल्टरनेट मॉडल है जो उत्तर प्रदेश के जीवन को बदलता है और योगी जी के नेतृत्व में ये चीजें हुई है, परिवर्तन आया है और उसका असर है। और मुझे याद है जब मेरी माँ ने मुझे कहा था ना कि ये काशी का, तो मैंने कहा माँ मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि यहाँ सपा की सरकार है, तो उनको मालूम नहीं था सपा क्या होता है। लेकिन मैं कहा ये चुनाव में हम जीतेंगे, उसके बाद मैं कर पाऊंगा, क्योंकि हमें मालूम है, तो लोगों को पता है कि यहाँ बीजेपी की सरकार होना, दिल्ली में बीजेपी की सरकार होना उत्तर प्रदेश का सबसे उत्तम भाग्य है।
रायबरेली अमेठी में है, शर्मा जी भी साथ में आपके चल रहे हैं, क्या समीकरण देख रही है?
जीतेंगे शर्मा जी, राहुल जी भी जीतेंगे। जनता समझदार है, यहाँ की जागरूक है, सही निर्णय लेगी। और आपने भाजपा की सांसद के बारे में पूछा, वो तो यहाँ आई एक मकसद से थी, राजनीतिक मकसद से आई, तो उनका क्या रिश्ता है? वो तो 40 साल लगेगा रिश्ता बनाने में, तो बनाए वो।
जी ने कहा कि यूपी में कांग्रेस कुछ नहीं कर पाएगी, इस पर आप क्या कहेंगे?
देखा जाएगा, मैं तो ज्योतिषी नहीं हूँ, अगर वो हैं तो बहुत अच्छा।
Let's raise the big questions. Uttar Pradesh, is it the BJP's gateway to Delhi still? Is the Congress really a no-show in UP as the Prime Minister claims? Can UP ke ladke Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi make an impact this time? Or is the Modi-Yogi double engine the BJP's winning card yet again? Joining me now is Ashutosh, former politician, now political analyst with satyahindi.com. Rahul Verma, fellow Center for Policy Research, tracks elections in North India very closely. Shazia Ilmi, BJP spokesperson. Ajoy Kumar, Congress spokesperson. I'll ask you all to keep your intervention short. We have limited time. But I want to start with you, Shazia Ilmi, because the Prime Minister seems to suggest as if UP is a done deal. Congress will end with 0 seats. Is this overconfidence? Is this the Prime Minister once again like 400 par trying to intimidate the opposition even before the election has really taken off? There are still 3 phases to go.
No, I don't think it's overconfidence. I think it's faith. And it's a two-way process. It's a relationship that a voter has with the Prime Minister. It's a very solid, simple relationship, which is of credibility. I think the voter has faith in Modi. And where UP goes, I think not just Modi ji, but I think everybody in UP would agree that it's a done deal. I think even our detractors would know that the other combinations and permutations that have been tried so many times, and Prime Minister hinted at
so
that.
So how many seats are you, when you say it's a done deal, are you telling me you're going to get 80 out of 80? Is that what the BJP is claiming?
No, I think it's going to be a clean sweep. You know, I don't ever talk about numbers. I'm not very good at number crunching. And I don't even, you know, people are talking about waves and lack of it, but I'm talking about the emotion that is guiding it. And I think it is very clear, it's in the air, almost tangible, that there is complete faith in the leadership of Prime Minister. Everybody, whether it's a hamlet in Jaunpur, people know that these are Lok Sabha elections. And, you know, somebody was telling me the other day, and even in Kalahandi, a woman out there who doesn't have much, you know, happening for her, she also knows the difference between a Vidhan Sabha election and a Lok Sabha election. So people know what they're voting for. They are voting for themselves, and they're tired of voting for other families. They want to vote for their own family.
Okay.
And I think this is what they get when they vote for Modi. They're voting for their own families, and Akhilesh's family, or Rahul's family, or Tejasvi's family, or, what have you.
Okay, let me get in Ajoy Kumar. Ajoy Kumar, here you're having Shazia Ilmi also expressing this confidence, clean sweep. You've got the Prime Minister doing a series of interviews saying that, look, we are going to win UP by a landslide. Would you concede that the Congress in UP, given its recent track record over the last 10 years, is at some level fighting for survival? You won just one seat last time, which was Sonia Gandhi's seat in the Lok Sabha. And therefore, for the Congress at the moment, UP is a mountain to climb.
So, Rajdeep, I was hearing Shazia ji speaking. Kala Handi, I'm in Orissa right now. That's why this colorful background in a dhaba in the interior of Orissa. Either they are smoking some stuff which is totally illegal, because there is a huge change. Kala Handi is where I was, deep inside UP. The problem is, whether it is Rajasthan, I just have a fundamental political, simple, non-psychologist question. If there is a change in Rajasthan, if there is a change in Madhya Pradesh, if there's a huge change in Delhi, Haryana, what is it in UP? One second, let me come. I don't interfere, Shazia ji. Please don't interfere. Interrupt, sorry. Secondly, what is Parivar? Prajwal और रेवन्ना इनके मोदी का परिवार है. अजीत पवार मोदी का परिवार है. सिंधिया मोदी का परिवार है. मिलिंद देवरा इनका परिवारवाद. Look at the speed. The deputy chief minister of Bihar, Parivar. It is full of Parivar. Modi's Parivar is Adani, Ambani, plutocrats, and Prajwal Revanna. What kind of Parivar is that? So let's not talk about Parivar. You have given some 160 odd.
No, but let's talk about UP. No, 1 minute. Shazia Ilmi, do not intervene. Let's talk, Ajoy Verma, about UP itself. The question is, you are a party which, with all the efforts you put in, you won one Lok Sabha seat in 2019. In 2021, when assembly elections were held also, 2022, you struggled in UP to pick up just 2 seats. 90% of your candidates lost their deposits. Naturally, the BJP feels that the Congress today is a pushover.
Okay, so hold it. The fact that he's doing a program, is Uttar Pradesh the gateway to Delhi, shows that you know something which also we seem to be knowing. That they are getting wiped out in most of the states, Maharashtra. So the numbers is Uttar Pradesh is crucial. So we are coming to the fundamental issue is that they are going to find it difficult. Your program itself, unless you know something, and I'm just reading between the lines. The fact is that Uttar Pradesh is critical for them, according to everybody else. Because Bihar, they are losing. Jharkhand, my home state, they have lost all the tribal seats for sure. So Uttar Pradesh is critical. I accept what you're telling from your perspective. And Shazia ji, sorry to spoil the party, but you guys are not making a majority. But I'll tell you one by one. Telangana, we lost 15 by-elections. We lost every election in Telangana till we formed the government. इस चुनाव में, like Yogendra Yadav said, public चुनाव ने करवट ले ली. And the fact that they were keeping Shazia ji, I'll just complete.
Madam, you just a minute. Ajoy, can you complete your point, please?
Yeah, so I'm just saying, across everybody saying why UP is critical, why UP critical. It was not critical till before this election started because they thought they were winning. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal, Orissa, there is a change, and that's why UP is critical, etc.
Okay.
But whether it is good enough for them to win, no.
Okay, you're
And
saying
UP
change is, you made your point. You're saying change is in the air, and once it blows from one state, it will blow across. Now, we don't know whether at the moment change is in the air, but Ashutosh, you're hearing these two sides. You heard the Prime Minister in a series of interviews expressing this confidence that I'm still confident of 400 par and we will sweep Uttar Pradesh. Is there a sense, or is this bravado, or do you believe the Prime Minister knows something we all don't know?
Rajdeep, you have spent more than 3 decades in journalism and especially in TV channels. Have you ever seen Prime Minister giving a proper interview to the same channel in the 2 consecutive days? I haven't seen that, but I have seen on Aaj Tak A day before, Prime Minister was there on the Aaj Tak, a proper interview, almost half an hour interview, and again today, a proper interview done today. Now, this tells a story. This tells a story that there is a definite unease in the BJP, and there is a definite panic in the party itself. Otherwise, the Prime Minister, I've seen Prime Ministers giving bites, stand-in bite for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like this. That means the Prime Minister wants to occupy the media space and through that wants to communicate with the voters.
No, but that is always done, Ashutosh. Before every election, that is what the Prime Minister has done. What is unusual? Are you saying that is a sign of desperation?
No, I'm saying, have you seen on two consecutive days, Prime Minister giving the proper interview to the same channel? I'm only making this limited point. I'm saying that the BJP is definitely in desperation. There is a desperation, and if you go to the UP, there is a definite unease on the ground. There is a serious anti-incumbency on the ground. And let me also tell you that the rumor, or whatever the rumor was, that Mr. Yogi will be removed if the Modi comes back with the thumping majority at the center. That is also is working against the party. Because if you from Ghaziabad to the Ghazipur you go, you will see that same murmur. क्या योगी जी को हटा देंगे? क्या योगी जी को हटा देंगे? And today, Yogi is not a lamppost. Yogi is a leader himself, and he's a very, very serious leader there. And he's one of the Hindu icon today in the country. So if a murmur like this, a speculation like this becomes big, then certainly there is a problem. And that's why I'm saying.
You're saying the Prime Minister is occupying media space because he's worried or desperate at the moment. But Rahul Verma, when I look at the numbers, and at the end of the day, politics at election time is about arithmetic. 2019, the BJP gets 62 seats despite a strong SP-BSP alliance against it and almost 50% of the vote. 2014, they got 71% of the 71 seats and 42.63% of the vote. So the BJP's vote in UP has kept climbing. And the opposition, particularly the Congress, has got diminished. This time the Congress and SP have come together and they are hoping that the Muslim Yadavs and hopefully they hope the Dalits will come together around them. Do you see that happening? Is there any possibility of the opposition actually being able to make gains purely in seats in Uttar Pradesh, according to you?
So first of all, UP is important to national elections just by sheer size. No party which does really badly in UP hopes to form a stable government. Even Congress, when it came back to power in 2009, had done exceptionally well in UP, got 21 seats. BJP's rise in 90s is owes to UP. So just given the size, UP matters. And especially, I think BJP hopes that UP is one of the states where they should be making some gains. Whether it would, like most polls in March had suggested, that BJP should be getting somewhere between 70 and 75. Now, if UP is not going the way pre-polls had predicted, and if BJP is poised to lose some seats, as being sort of like argued that it may lose some seat in Rajasthan, Haryana, and other places. First point is, then there is some sort of like national sentiment which binds this election. We haven't yet seen or heard good evidence on that. It seems to be much more of a conversation that started post phase one. One has to also remember that in 2019, the opposition alliance was much more formidable against BJP than this time. This time, BJP not only has some of its old allies, but also got RLD on its side, which was part of the SP-BSP alliance last time. So just on paper, the BJP alliance is much but better poised to at least able to retain, if not improve its performance.
You know, interestingly, you're suggesting in 2019 the BJP had an even bigger challenge in Uttar Pradesh, which they overcame and got 62 seats. Their allies got 2. But Shazia Ilmi, politics is never static. And many of the reporters traveling on UP are seeing some signs of creeping anti-incumbency, especially against MPs on issues like Rozgar, on issues like Mehengai. There's a belief that BJP may well have taken some seats for granted in North India, including in Uttar Pradesh. I come back to it. Is there a sense of complacency bordering on arrogance when the Prime Minister says, "Arey, Congress to zero ho jayegi"?
No, I don't think there's any complacency, and I think we make sure of that. This is the structure of the party and the organizational capabilities that ensure that nobody ever gets complacent either way. But, Ashutosh has studied Modi ji so carefully. He's watching him channel after channel. I wish he'd studied the mood and the sentiment on the ground. And I feel even if people are unhappy with a particular candidate, and that's possible, and that happens all the time, and there's no way you can ensure 100% satisfaction level with every candidate there is. But people do know that at the end of the day, this is a Lok Sabha election. When I vote for this person who I might not like so much, who could have, and we could have had a better candidate from the party, we do know it is Modi coming to power. It is Modi at the helm of affairs. It is Modi who will lead us. It is Modi and Modi ki guarantee that matters.
So you're asking for votes in the name of one person? Candidates don't matter to you? You're asking for all the votes in the name of one person. Am I correct?
No, the fact there's a vision and Modi represents that and everybody follows that. What we stand for is very clear. What our delivery is all too obvious. 10 years and we want to do more of that. So whoever comes to power has to follow that vision.
Okay.
And that's what it is. So it is not so much about Modi and Modi alone and the personality of Modi. That is the biggest draw.
You're saying the
But
biggest
also
draw
what-
is the personality of Modi, the emotional
No,
connect. Ashutosh, you cannot deny that. The fact is, ever since Mr. Modi moved to Varanasi in 2014, he's built a strong connect. I mean, anyone who looks at politics closely will accept that Mr. Modi in Uttar Pradesh, and dare I say even in neighboring Bihar, has built himself as a larger-than-life figure.
See, Rajdeep, even Mrs. Indira Gandhi was a larger-than-life politician and a charismatic leader, has a direct connect with the voter. But she also lost election in 1977, and she lost her own constituency from the Raebareli. So it's not that the charismatic leader, the most popular leader, will always have an easy thing. Today, Mr. Narendra Modi has to answer for the last 10 years of anti-incumbency.
No interaction. Nobody interjected with you, ma'am.
There is a serious anti-incumbency against the government, and the survey after survey is showing that there are the serious issues of unemployment, there's a serious issue of price rise, there's a serious issues of the corruption. And also the fact of the matter is that today the BJP's own cadre is very, very complacent because the kind of leader which has been chosen to brought into the party against whom these cadre has campaigned and asking that they should be sent to the jail. Now, if you deny your own committed cadre for what they deserve as a cadre and as a worker, and you ask them to campaign for those are thugs and thieves and all kinds of corrupt leaders, then do you think that the BJP worker in the cadre will work?
No,
it will
that's
not
happened
work.
in Maharashtra. Where has it happened in Uttar Pradesh? Not in Uttar Pradesh, Ashutosh. In Uttar Pradesh, that hasn't happened.
Rajdeep, this sends a strong signal. When you sideline a leader like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, when you sideline a leader like Vasundhara Raje Scindia, when you sideline a leader like Raman Singh, then it sends an all-India message to their cadre. And that's what is exactly happening. And in UP, I tell you, in UP, there is a undercurrent which is working against the BJP. And there is a great unease among the Dalits also. And in UP, Dalit movement is a very strong movement, thanks to the Kashiram and the Mayawati. And this change constitution campaign is really working against the BJP, and BJP should be worried today. And
You're saying there is an undercurrent against the BJP, but the fact again is Ajay Kumar, Rahul Gandhi, who's supposed to lead your charge in UP, he's shifted out of Amethi, moved to Raebareli. We've seen in the past the UP ke ladke, we saw it in 2017 when Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi came together, they had no impact on the ground. And many believe it's the Congress which remains the Kamzor Kadi. The regional party, Samajwadi Party, has more organization on the ground. You don't have an organization. You just have Raebareli at the moment, and even Amethi is a huge question mark now.
A couple of things which you may not like to hear. The cult of Modi and Modi's achievement is thanks to the Modi media. Any issue on Prajwal Revanna? Any issue on electoral bonds?
I've done it on all. Prajwal Revanna, electoral bonds. You're on the wrong show if you say that. But go on.
Let me complete. You have adequate time. Question is, the media has made this false god. So otherwise, if the honestly, I'm not saying you. This man would have been stripped of all his nonsense. The most corrupt prime minister that India has ever seen. 9,000 crores of electoral bonds is a scam. ED is a scam. Breaking political parties by EDI, CBI raid. is a scam. The issue is, let's be very clear to all your listeners, that Modi is the most corrupt and it is a creation. What is Modi's popularity? Is a creation of the Godi media. We will fight it. And one sec, sir, I will complete. Whether it is, yesterday I said it in Aaj Tak, if it was Prajwal Revanna happening in any other political life, you would have been shoving camera into their faces and asking Modi a question. So the question is not that. Despite all that, they are losing. And I want to ask a simple political question. If Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, how is eastern UP different from Bihar? And if there is a winds of change in Bihar, Ms. Shazia Almi might say anything. Whether it is Dalit, whether it is OBC, whether it is Adivasi, they are voting en masse. And I'm telling you, I'm in Orissa. No, I'll finish 30 seconds, just 5 seconds. I'm in Orissa. We are winning all the tribal seats in Jharkhand. That means, what about the tribals in Orissa? What about the tribals in Bengal? So when you're socially, so this is not, it is going to be a very different election. You may not agree with me, but
sir, you made your point. You're claiming that this is a very different election to 2019. The final word, Rahul Verma. You know, we have gone at the moment by what happened in 2014-19 Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha 2022. But every election is distinct to the other. If there are winds of change that are being spoken about by some, an undercurrent, then that undercurrent should also apply to Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is not different to the rest of India.
Sure, I completely agree with that. See, in any case, UP in 2014 and 2019 delivered 70 plus and 60 plus MPs. Then BJP at the state level won 300 seats in 2017, 250 seats in 2022. So in some ways, yes, it is possible that UP, in fact, is facing double anti-incumbency. Unlike double Indian Sarkar, it could be double incumbency because you have both power at the center and the state, and a lot of MPs and MLAs have won on the party ticket. It is also possible that some of the issues that survey had picked in March, unemployment, price rise, and they might be building an undercurrent. It is also possible that candidates replacement by the BJP and also bringing in faces from other parties and nominating on BJP ticket could have created some sort of like disquiet among BJP organization. All of this is possible. But so far, we don't have any serious evidence to suggest that. What we are seeing is very partisan debate at the moment. And this is likely to happen till June 1 for sure, because exit polls will tell us something, and then June 4th when the results would come out. At the moment, if you ask Congress-leaning politicians or sympathizers, they will talk in one direction, and if you talk to BJP people, they'll talk in another direction. Elections change, but to change in such a way within a month, you need to see something fundamental changing. What I have not seen is fundamentals of elections changing in this election so far.
Okay, on that note, sobering note from Rahul Verma saying he hasn't seen a fundamental change at the moment in the elections so far. But who knows? 3 weeks can be a long time in Indian politics. Still 3 more phases to go. I appreciate all my guests joining me on my top talking point. I want to turn from UP to the neighboring state of Bihar. 40 seats on offer. The BJP and its allies won 39 of the 40 last time. This weekend, I was in Bihar as part of my elections on my plate series. And I caught up with 2 of the big guns, Tejasvi Yadav, who single-handedly is leading the opposition charge, and Chirag Paswan, who's become the star face of the NDA alliance. Here are excerpts from those 2 conversations. Tejasvi Yadav and Chirag Paswan, generation next of the BJP in Bihar.
तेजस्वी यादव, अगर मैं कहूं ये वन मैन शो है आपका, हर जगह आप ही का नाम ऑपोजिशन ले रही है, ये सही है? यू आर रिलाइंग ऑन अ वन मैन शो दिस टाइम.
अब देखिए, हम तो अपना काम कर रहे हैं. एकमात्र मेरा लक्ष्य है कि देश में जो तानाशाही है उसको खत्म किया जाए. संविधान लोकतंत्र को जो खत्म करना चाहते हैं उनको खत्म किया जाए. जुमलेबाजी अब खत्म होनी चाहिए, और जुमलेबाजी तभी खत्म होगी जब नरेंद्र मोदी जी हारेंगे. बिहार से हम लोग चौंकाने वाला रिजल्ट लाएंगे, और ऐसा रिजल्ट आएगा कि केंद्र में उनकी सरकार नहीं बनेगी. लोगों का प्यार, चाहे किसी जाति के हो, धर्म के हो, सबका साथ मिल रहा है. इसलिए मिल रहा है कि हम मुद्दे की बात कर रहे हैं, नौकरी की बात कर रहे हैं, गरीबी की बात कर रहे हैं, महंगाई की बात कर रहे हैं. आप देख सकते हैं,
ये मोदी आपका नाम तेजस्वी बना है?
शाम में तय हुआ है कि आज हमें पातेपुर में सभा करनी है। कोई बुलाई गई भीड़ नहीं है, स्वतः ये भीड़ आई हुई है। और मोदी जी की रैली होती तो महीने दिन पहले तय होता है। 6-7 जिलों का लाया हुआ क्राउड होता है। हम लोग आते तो ब्लॉक मीटिंग करते हैं। तो लोगों का प्यार है, विश्वास है, खींच के ला रहे हैं। और लोग 10 साल से मोदी जी से परेशान हो चुके हैं, थक चुके हैं, ऊब चुके हैं। नफरत की राजनीति बहुत आसान होती है और नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने नफरत की राजनीति चुनी है सत्ता में आने के लिए। लेकिन काम के नाम पे वोट लेना वो बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है और हमने 17 महीने में किया है। 17 महीने में 5 लाख लोगों को सरकारी नौकरी दी है।
ये आपका 1 पॉइंट एजेंडा है, 5 लाख नौकरियां मैंने सत्ता में दी। क्या इसी पर आप वोट चाहते हैं इस बार?
हमने जाति आधारित गणना कराया, 75% आरक्षण की सीमा तय की। हमने टूरिज्म पॉलिसी बनाई, स्पोर्ट्स पॉलिसी बनाई, IT पॉलिसी बनाई। बिहार में पहली बार इन्वेस्टर मीट करा करके 50,000 करोड़ का हमने निवेश साइन करवाया। ये सारा काम हम लोगों ने किया।
नीतीश कुमार कहते हैं ये उनकी सरकार है, तेजस्वी क्रेडिट लेना चाहते हैं।
नीति कौन बनाता है, प्रस्ताव कौन बनाता है, डिपार्टमेंट बनाता है, पॉलिसी डिपार्टमेंट में कौन बनाता है। तो जब नौकरी की बात हम करेंगे, और 17 महीने तो उन्होंने कुछ किया नहीं, लेकिन हमारे मंत्री थे, हमारे पास डिपार्टमेंट था, हम लोगों ने प्रस्ताव बनाया, हम लोगों ने नियमावली बनाई, हम लोग कैबिनेट लेके गए, पास तो होना ही है।
तो ये युवा जो वर्ग है, ये आपका नया कंस्टिट्यूंसी है। आपके पिताजी का मुस्लिम यादव कंबाइन हुआ करता था, आप क्या उसके आगे जाना चाहते हैं?
माई बाप
का मतलब
की पार्टी है। MY तो आप जानते ही हैं
जी, मुस्लिम यादव
मतलब बहुजन, ए मतलब आधी आबादी, दूसरा ए आगरा, और P से पुअर बाप। हम लोगों ने 24 सीटों पे RJD चुनाव लड़ रही है देश भर में, एक झारखंड में 23 यहाँ, 24 में से 7 टिकट हमने महिलाओं को दिया है, ऑलमोस्ट 30%।
खराब हो गया था, एक हेलीकॉप्टर मिला है, उसको हमने ट्रैक्टर बना दिया। यहाँ प्रधानमंत्री आ रहे हैं, दिल्ली मंत्री आ रहे हैं, नड्डा जी आ रहे हैं, राजनाथ सिंह जी आ रहे हैं, योगी जी आ रहे हैं, आकाश मुख्यमंत्री आ रहे हैं, भल्ला आ रहे हैं, तेलंगाना आ रहे हैं, लेकिन एक मेरा हेलीकॉप्टर सब पर भारी है।
How are you managing with this back pain? I see you are in visible pain.
When you get so much love and support, then you get lots of energy from them. And this is the secret actually.
I thought it's a secret from your cricket days, your fitness of the earlier days. You put on weight since then.
No, I'm not that fit because I've been not working out really what I used to do it earlier. But yeah, I've been really working out well. Today was my 10th rally and I guess this is the highest in Lok Sabha by any other leader.
So let me ask you this. आपने कहा कि ये चुनाव है, एक तरह से मोदी को आपको हटाना है, लेकिन क्या आप मानते हैं कि लोकसभा में उतना आसान नहीं है? विधानसभा चुनाव में आपने पूरी टक्कर दी थी 2020 में। क्या ये चुनाव आपके लिए एक ट्रायल है 2025 के विधानसभा? इज इट अबाउट मोदी वर्सेस तेजस्वी एंड देयरफॉर लोकसभा मोर डिफिकल्ट?
मुश्किल क्यों है?
क्योंकि ये
दशरथ मांझी पहाड़ को तोड़ देते हैं, उससे ज्यादा मुश्किल क्या है? इस आप देखिएगा, 10 साल लोगों ने झूठ सह लिया
जी,
नफरत की राजनीति बहुत देख ली, डिवाइड एंड रूल, हिंदू मुस्लिम, मंदिर मस्जिद नहीं। वी वांट एजेंडा। आप क्या मुद्दा लेके आ रहे हैं? क्या मुद्दा है आपके पास? पढ़ाई, दवाई, कमाई। आप बताओ बिहार को क्या किया?
ये चुनाव इसके बारे में है कि कौन आपको नेता चाहिए दिल्ली में, राहुल गांधी या नरेंद्र मोदी? ये तेजस्वी का चुनाव है, तेजस्वी बनाम नीतीश।
लोग काम चाहते, किसी नेता को प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनाना चाहते, वो ऐसी सरकार चाहते जिससे लोगों की तरक्की हो, भला हो, काम हो।
हाउ डू यू सी नीतीश कुमार? नीतीश कुमार को किस तरह से देखते हैं, क्योंकि ये एक फैक्टर है कि नहीं है?
उनका बड़ा रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, हम आगे भी करते रहेंगे, लेकिन अब उनका जमाना चला गया।
पर तेजस्वी, आप कह रहे हैं आपका जमाना है, लेकिन मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि ये तेजस्वी जो जमाना अपना कहते हैं, किस बात पर इतना कॉन्फिडेंस आपको है? क्योंकि दूसरी तरफ पूरी एक सेना आपके खिलाफ है।
सच की बात कर रहे हैं, नौकरी की बात कर रहे हैं, मुद्दे की बात कर रहे हैं, संविधान बचाने की, लोकतंत्र बचाने की, गंगा जमीना तहजीब को बचाने की, ये हम जो बात कर रहे हैं जनता का साथ।
मैं आखिरी सवाल आपको पूछूंगा। आप लालू जी के बेटे की तरह से एक जमाने में जाने जाते थे कि ही हैज कम इनटू पॉलिटिक्स। ये फैमिली राज है, वंशवाद है, मोदी जी कहते हैं परिवारवाद है। आपकी 2 बहनें भी चुनाव लड़ रही है। किस तरह ये वंशवाद का आर्ग्यूमेंट और जंगल राज, ये 2 आर्ग्यूमेंट प्रधानमंत्री
है। लेट द पीपल ऑफ बिहार लेट देम डिसाइड, एंड असल मालिक वही है।
एंड व्हेन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर सेज कि ये जंगल राज है और अगर ये आए तो एक बार फिर जंगल राज आएगा, ये महागठबंधन है, क्या कहेंगे?
शुरू से अब तक ये हमने नौकरी दी, अगर नौकरी देना जंगल राज समझते हैं तो समझे।
As you can see, Tejasvi Yadav on the road where we've caught him. Not easy to track down Tejasvi given the crowds that have been swelling around him during this campaign. But that's the nature of this election campaign in Bihar. Almost reminds me of the days when I used to track Lalu Prasad. The only difference is 30 years earlier, I was a lot younger.
So yes, I mean, how's Bihar?
How's Bihar? So, aap batao, Bihar is your 40 seats. Last time you all won 39 out of 40. This time how many? Honest answer. This time everybody is saying कि थोड़ा तो down जाना है.
So you know what? I mean, I'm somebody who do a lot of research myself, and I work with a lot of data and statistics myself. So now when I'll say 40 out of 40, I mean, before you cross question me on that, I'll give you an answer why. Last time it was just 3 parties contesting together in 2019. It was BJP, it was Janata Dal United, and it was Lok Janshakti Party, 3 of us. This time we have 5 parties together. You know, we have 2 other parties which last time were with the opposition. We have Jitan Ram Manjhi ji and we have Upendra Kushwaha. So in terms of alliance, we are a bigger and a stronger alliance this time. And this makes me believe that that the 1 seat that we lost last time, that was Kishanganj, so we'll be winning that as well.
But the sense I get, Chirag, also is that this alliance is heavily dependent on Prime Minister Modi. He's your trump card. It's not about the Chief Minister, it's about the Prime Minister. Nitish Kumar is your weakness, Prime Minister Modi is your asset. Honest answer.
No, I mean,
smile kar diya
no, not at all.
You smile.
No, I smiled the way you, you said it. Definitely not. I mean, see, at least, yes, when you say that my Prime Minister is our trump card, we have a trump card at least. You know, on the other side, we have nobody.
They have Tejasvi Yadav. Tejasvi Yadav, like you, is a young leader who's pulling in the crowds. So they have Tejasvi Yadav, young Bihar leader.
Rajdeep, let's be very honest. You know, we are talking about Lok Sabha elections. You know, we are talking about the Prime Minister's post. You know, we are not talking about Bihar elections. You know, so you need to have a leader at the national level leading that alliance, which the so-called India Alliance doesn't have one.
You yourself have been very critical of Nitish Kumar. You even took him on in the 2020 Bihar Assembly elections. Is he a liability now in terms of the fact that people now say, yeah, Nitish ji has made so many political U-turns, people don't trust him. And those 16 seats of Nitish Kumar, of JDU that you've given, are your weakness.
And I'm actually thinking whether I should smile at a point or not, because then you're going to be catching me on that as well. Whatever that you have said, honestly speaking, I don't agree to that. My Chief Minister has, I mean, debatable, less or more, but then he has made his own cadre, you know, he has made his own support group, and which is standing by him very, very, very strongly. Is the reason why I would not want to believe that he's the weakling. Rather, he has made our alliance even stronger.
You're sounding very politically mature, but let me ask you this. Do you feel somewhere that you've been used? In 2020, your late father passes away. I remember him very well, Ram Vilas ji. 1 year later, you're thrown out of your house by this same BJP-led government at the center. Your uncle Pashupati Paris is made a central minister. You're thrown out, and you're brought back 2 years later because now the BJP needs you. This is use and throw politics. You were used when it suited the BJP. You were thrown when they didn't need you, and they brought you back. You're okay with all of that?
So my fight's never been about my house, my car, my own concerns. It's never been that. I just mentioned it to you. My teaching has been very, very clear as student of politics that it's always nation first. And I believe there's no other alternative. That's why my commitment for my Prime Minister remains same. I mean, in between there were a lot of taunts. You know, they used to say कि बड़ा अपने आप को हनुमान कहता था, क्या हो गया, and all those things, you know. But my dedication, my devotion towards my Prime Minister remain same, remain constant, for the fact that he is the only one who can lead.
You started off in politics and everyone said Ramvilas Paswan ji ka beta hai, that's why he's in politics. You actually went into cinema.
Yeah.
Your first love is cinema or politics?
So yes, I've been taking over from where we started. It's always been politics. And
cinema?
Cinema I tried, I mean, but very soon I realized that I'm not made for cinema. You know, I can't rehearse those dialogues and I can't ratify. I mean, even when I go on stage, I mean, I never read a script, I never read a speech.
But you're a good speaker, so are you a Nepo kid in politics?
I was.
You were a Nepo kid in politics.
I was a Nepo kid, and I won't shy away from the fact. And today when I also look back, I actually realized that yes, I mean, I was a Nepo kid. Whatever that I'm doing today, I never did that. So yes, I entered as a Nepo kid, but I think today, and please validate this when I say this, because everything possible was snatched away from me, right from my party to the name of my party, the symbol that was selected by my father, the people, you know, that he brought together to make this party, everything possibly was taken away, the house, everything. So I've started from the scratch. I would want to believe that I've come out of that shadow of being a Nepo kid.
See yourself as a pan-Bihar leader today, as someone who aspires to do what your late father could never become, Chief Minister of Bihar. Is that the goal?
So
a few years ago you had told me that one day I want to be Chief Minister of Bihar. Yes, you said it.
So I'm not running away from that. I think my vision itself says this very clearly. I talk about Bihar first, Bihari first. I don't talk about Dalit Bihari, I don't talk about Mahadalit Bihari, I don't talk about Agada Bihari, Pichda Bihari, Hindu Bihari, Muslim Bihari. I talk about the complete state. I talk about 14 crore Biharis living in my state. And I honestly speaking, Rajdeep sir, I mean, मैं 21वीं सदी का पढ़ा लिखा लड़का हूँ. I don't believe in this caste politics. I don't believe in communal politics. I just believe that the difference is the richer getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And until unless you don't do that hand-holding for those poor section of the society, and in which every section, every caste, every creed, every religion is the part of that poor section of the society. So I'm working for them.
There are two young politicians, both were seen as Nepo kids at one time, and both seem to be coming into their own. You're on one side, Tejasvi Yadav on the other. You see yourself as the future battle of Bihar, Chirag Paswan versus Tejasvi Yadav. Could you come together one day? Or is he now your prime target in a way, looking ahead to the future?
I don't know what future holds for me. To be very honest, I mean, I'm somebody who works on building my own strength. I'm not someone ki kisi ki lakir ko kaat kar, you know, I'll go ahead. I'm somebody who wants to draw his own line so big that everything else looks small. So that's what I'm working towards at. I don't know, mera Tejasvi mein competition hoga, nahi hoga. This is for the people of my state to decide. Ki
is there a competition or not somewhere?
I don't see a competition, honestly speaking. And I've been accused and blamed for the same because I actually believe that it's my extended family, you know. I've always called him my younger brother. Rabdi Devi ji is like my mother, Lalu ji is like my father. Not like my father, they are actually like my parents. So that respect on a personal level was always there, is there, and will continue to remain the same way.
Get Real India story, and it comes from Mumbai. The death toll in Mumbai's killer billboard that collapsed yesterday after a dust storm has mounted now to 14, while 75 others have been left injured. A blame game has erupted in the midst of the elections there between the Congress and the BJP. The fact, though, is the owner of the agency that put up this killer hoarding is on the run. It's our Get Real India story.
A hoarding in Ghatkopar, built to be one of Asia's largest, fettered by the Limca Book of Records, came down crashing as a dust storm lashed Mumbai on Monday evening. It fell on the nearby petrol pump, trapping scores of people waiting to refill fuel. Many are dead and many more are receiving treatment at hospitals. A few like Indra Kumar Kewat were lucky to escape unharmed. His truck is under the mangled remains of the hoardings.
गिरा तो मेरे गाड़ी के ऊपर गिरा। गाड़ी के ऊपर गिरने से जितने आदमी गाड़ी के आसपास थे वो तो बच गए। जो बाजू में था कितना नुकसान हुआ, अंधेरा सा हो गया, दिखा नहीं। पब्लिक को आवाज दिया कि भाई जिसको भी बचना है मेरे गाड़ी के पास आ जाओ। फिर उसके बाद मैं नीचे घसक के बाहर निकला रोड पे। 2-3 आदमी को मदद किया, रिक्शे में डाला, किसी का हाथ मतलब फ्रैक्चर, किसी का पैर फ्रैक्चर।
The Maharashtra government has announced 5 lakh rupees in aid for the families of the deceased. What is shocking is how the hoarding so large, now admitted to be illegal, went unnoticed by civic agencies.
This particular land actually belongs to the collector, but the government railway police, the GRP, was in possession of this land, and they were the ones, without the BMC permission, had given out these hoardings, permissions to these people, to the company, to put up these hoardings. So the BMC's permission was never taken. The size was too big. The regulations that are needed were not kept in mind.
महापालिकेची परवानगी म्हणजे परवाना घेण्यात आलेला नाही अशा सर्व होर्डिंगवरती कार्यवाही करण्याचा निर्णय घेतलेला आहे. मुख्यमंत्र्यांनी देखील त्या पद्धतीचे आदेश दिलेले आहेत आणि ती कारवाई आज आमची सुरू होती आहे.
A case of criminal negligence and culpable homicide not amounting to murder has been slapped against the owner of Ego Media Ad Agency, which put up the hoarding. He is also named as an accused in a rape case, and charge sheet has also been filed against him. In Bhide's election affidavit, which was filed in 2009, he listed 23 criminal cases against him. Sources tell India Today that Bhide's company has secured multiple railway and BMC contracts for hoardings and banners in the past decade. After the tragic incident in Ghatkopar, the BMC has started identifying illegal hoardings in Mumbai. 3 hoardings next to the one that collapsed have been identified as illegal. The BMC is preparing to remove them. As per BMC's data, it has issued permission to 1,025 hoardings, while Railways has issued permission to 179 hoardings in Mumbai. There are 1,204 licensed hoardings in all. This is not the first instance of apathy claiming lives in the maximum city. From Gokhale Bridge to Elphinstone to Ghatkopar, the civic agencies have let down the city many times. With Vidya in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
That's it on the news today. Thanks very much for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.